Hello, this is McD the Beast, and this is McD Sports 4 coming to you today with my Illinois football predictions for the 2019 college football season. Before I continue, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. Please subscribe to the channel. It will be greatly appreciated if you do that. I have a subscriber goal of 200 subscribers I want to hit by August 24th, so go ahead and hit that subscriber button if you're not subscribed already. You won't regret it. Anyways, pros and cons. We'll go through the pros and cons for Illinois. Best case and worst case scenario. Then your three toughest and three easiest games. Then we'll go through the schedule game by game. I'll tell you which games have Illinois winning and losing. Give you a score for the games as well. And then give you a final record prediction and a conference record prediction. One other quick note before I continue. Don't hold me to the game by game picks. Just hold me to the record predictions at the end. Let's start off with the pros and cons. One pro and two cons. Your one pro is the offense. The Illinois offense is not that bad at all. They're actually a decent offense. I would put it in the decent category. And they will put up some points this year against some bad defenses in the Big Ten. You do have two cons, though. The first con is your defense. Your defense is terrible. You're going to be giving up a lot of points this year, and that's why Illinois is projected really to be basically in the bottom half of the Big Ten because of their defense. And then your second con is your head coach, Lovie Smith. Lovie Smith, this is his fourth year. You think he's definitely on the hot seat. I am actually surprised he did not get fired last year. But he did have, I think, like a 2-game improvement, or like maybe a 1-game improvement from last year, so they kept him. He's, in my opinion, I think his bowl game will bust for Lovie Smith, and it's going to be tough for Illinois to make a bowl game this year, in my opinion. Now let's go through the best case and worst case scenario. Here's the schedule right here in front of you. The best case scenario is 6-6 for Illinois. Your non-conference schedule is actually pretty easy. Two teams from the MAC. Not named Northern Illinois and Buffalo, and then a road game, but it's against UConn. You also get Rutgers as well from the East, which is nice. But you also get Michigan and Michigan State from the East, which is tough. Wisconsin at home, the Purdue game, the Northwestern game, the Nebraska game, I'll even say the Minnesota game. I think are all winnable games in my opinion. So I think your best case scenario is 6-6. Worst case scenario, 2-10. You go 0-9 in the conference, and then you lose one of your non-conference games to go 2-10. That's your worst case scenario. Three toughest games: Michigan, Michigan State, and Iowa. Michigan is projected to win the Big Ten this year. Michigan State has a very good defense. Iowa, to me, is probably the second best team in the Big Ten West, and you get them on the road. And the best team in the Big Ten West, in my opinion, is Northern Illinois. But I gave Iowa the edge because Northern Illinois, the Northwestern game. I was calling it Northern Illinois. The Northwestern game is at home, and the Iowa game's on the road. Your three easiest games are Akron, UConn, and Rutgers. UConn is terrible. Rutgers is terrible. Akron is a middle-of-the-road team in the MAC. I didn't go with Eastern Michigan. They actually have a pretty good defense that they put out on that hideous field. Luckily, you don't have to play on that hideous field this year. But overall, I do think that Eastern Michigan's defense pissed them over the top over the other three teams I name as easiest games of the year. Now let's go through the schedule game by game. I'll tell you which games I have Illinois winning and losing. First game is Akron at home. Win. You guys should be Akron pretty easily, in my opinion. I think you'll put up a lot of points against them. It might be somewhat competitive, but I think you'll beat them 47-24. Next game at UConn. Win. UConn might be in this for a half, but even then, Illinois should win this game very easily. I have Illinois winning this game 55-27. Next game, Eastern Michigan. I went back and forth with this one. It would not surprise me if Eastern Michigan travels from the hideous field to Illinois to go ahead and beats Illinois. But I went with Illinois here. I think Illinois gets a close win in this one, 28-24 Illinois. I think the Illinois offense is good enough to put them over the top. Next game, Nebraska. You open up conference play with Nebraska. At home, lost. And by the way, we outside of the Rutgers game, I already did predictions for the rest of these teams. You go check that out on my YouTube channel. But I think you lose to Nebraska. They're just better than you. I think you'll keep it competitive in the first half, but they're going to pull away in that second half. 48-24, Nebraska. Then you get your first bye week. Every team gets 2 bye weeks because of how the calendar aligns with the schedule. And then coming off the bye week, you get to play a road game against Minnesota, a team that you blew out last year, but the game was in Illinois. This year, the game's in Minnesota. I think Minnesota blows you out this year. I have Illinois losing this game 49-19. And I already made the Minnesota predictions, I think, before their quarterback, Zach Annexstead, got injured. But I still think Minnesota beats you no matter what. Next game, Michigan at home. Lost. Michigan's projected to win the Big Ten. If you watch my videos already, though, you already know that I will take the field against Michigan. I'm not really sold on any team in the Big Ten, by the way, to win a national championship, or really even to make the playoffs. But I think you'll lose to Michigan, 40-17. Next game is your homecoming game at home against Wisconsin. I think you stay in this game. I think you keep it competitive since it's homecoming. It's going to be a ruckus crowd there. But at the end, I have to give it to Wisconsin. They're just a better team than you at this point. I think Wisconsin wins this game 33-15. Next game at Purdue. Lost. Listen, Purdue's offense is much better than Illinois' offense. And both of these defenses are kind of bad, especially Illinois'. But I'm going to go with Purdue here. It's in West Lafayette. 49-23, Purdue in that one. Next game, Rutgers at home. I went back and forth a little bit with this one. To me, this game is like the game between the worst two teams in the Big Ten. It's in Illinois. Last year you went into Rutgers and beat them last year. I'm going to say you beat them again this year, 45-21 Illinois. I really think Rutgers is terrible. I'm going to be honest with you. I just really think they're god awful. I think Rutgers will be lucky if they win 3 games this year and one of those. Wins a game in the Big Ten. I'm just going to come out and say right now, but Illinois wins this game 45-21. Next game at Michigan State, lost. Michigan State has too good of a defense to lose. They actually returned 18 out of 21 starters. 33-14 Michigan State in that one. Then you get your second bye week. Coming off the bye week on the road against Iowa. Lost. Iowa, to me, is a very good team. They always seem to be around that 8-9 win mark. I think that's the same this year. I have Iowa beating Illinois 37-13. Then your final game, Northwestern. This is an in-state rivalry game, even though Northwestern has kind of owned the series lately. It'll be competitive since it's a rivalry game, but at the end, I have to give it to Northwestern. They're just a much better team than Illinois at this time. 34-17, Northwestern over Illinois. So that's all the games right there. If you count up all the wins and losses, I do have Illinois going 4-8 with a 1-8 conference record. 4-8 with a 1-8 conference record. I think they missed out on a bowl game again this year. I'm not very high on Illinois. I mean, to me, by default, they're just the worst team, at least in the Big Ten West going into this season. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe if you look back at this, maybe I'll be wrong. Maybe they'll make a bowl game. But overall, I think Illinois goes 4-8 with a 1-8 conference record. Comment down below. Tell me what you think. I always like hearing from you all. Thanks for watching the video. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. Please subscribe to the channel. Greatly appreciate if you do that. Rutgers will be out sometime tonight. Thanks for watching, and this is McD the Beast signing off.